Good morning, traders, and welcome to NewsWare's Trade Talk for Monday, August 10th. Okay, let's get into the action. Take a look at the S&Ps. They're essentially flat. We've been ebbing between gains and losses. We're currently lower by 0.03% this morning. I mean, the market's kind of digesting the latest news about the potential reopening of the Strait of Hormuz, but it's starting to really focus on the inflation readings that are due out later this week. Iran's comments essentially echoed the MOU, which was agreed upon in June, and President Trump, on his part, he actually reacted calmly, signaling that he wants to let economic forces play out rather than delivering a rhetoric that would escalate the situation. So that was a good move. On the economic front, really, it's about the CPI and the PPI reports that are due out this week. In corporate news, TSM, Taiwan Semiconductor, their July revenue was up 5.6% from June. That's positive. Ashland is said to be exploring the sale after they received a takeover interest. OpenAI flagged potential cybersecurity risks in its new model. Meta CEO, he outlined the company's AI vision and their plans in a letter that it was released this morning. On the earnings front, we're seeing shares of SDRL and EMBJ trading higher, while shares of Barrick Mining, B, Dole, and VERU are trading lower. After the bell today, we get Simon Property Group, Rocket Labs, ASTS, HIMS, and DJT all scheduled to release. And tomorrow morning, you got SC, you got Cardinal Health, you got ON, and Legend Bio LEGN scheduled to report. Okay, let's take a look overseas who we're seeing. We're looking at the DAX. The DAX is actually in the green. It's trading higher by 0.26%. Strength in tech, energy, and industrial shares. London is lower by 0.22%. Defense stocks are really pushing that index lower. Energy and tech shares are showing some momentum, though. The CAC in Paris is up 0.12%. Some strength in luxury good, offsetting weakness in financial shares. In terms of Asia last night, you looked at the Nikkei. The Nikkei was up 2.08%, driven by strength in tech. And the Bank of Japan members, they appear to be divided on the timing of further rate increases, and that was very positive for the market. Hong Kong, the Hang Seng finished up 1.05% with gains in tech. The weaker dollar really helped the market. And Chinese inflation came in softer than expected, and China was up 0.67%. As a CPI and the PPI growth rates both came in below forecasts, which, kind of fuels expectations that that Beijing may roll out some stimulus action. That's positive. And then we look at oil this morning, and oil is trading higher. It's up about 1.75%. WTI is at $79.56, while Brent is at $85.05. Markets are reacting to the weekend announcement from Iran outlining, its maximal requirements for reopening the Strait of Hormuz. But nothing's really different from the agreed upon MOU. I mean, they essentially listed those factors again. And while it seems like they're very their maximalist demands, they were already agreed to. So it really comes down to whether President Trump wants to do this deal or not. He says he wants to make a deal, but oil prices are slightly higher. I mean, we're still, in a range where they're not, where I can't call them elevated oil prices. So that gives President Trump the ability to kind of hold on to the continuing blockade of Iranian cargo ships. But for now, we're seeing oil moving higher. Let's talk earnings, and let's talk about Seadrill, SDRL. That was our pick of the day on Friday. These guys beat by 19 cents on higher revenue. Stocks up 4.95%. Then we got the Brazilian plane manufacturer, EMBJ. They beat by 20 cents. That stock's up 8.84%. And MNDY, Monday.com, also released stocks down 9.14%, but they beat by 37 cents on higher revenue. It was a guidance that the market didn't like. Then we got upcoming reports after the bell today. We got Rocket Labs EPSs for a loss of 3 cents. Expected move is 13.60%. And Hims and Hers, ticker Hims, HIMS, their EPS is 7 cents, is for a loss of 7 cents, and the expected move there is 14.4%. No real economic reports are pending today, but in the FANG stocks, Apple is testing memory chips from Chinese semiconductor CXMT. Novo Nordisk selects AWS as their preferred cloud provider. That's a good strategic partner. Meta is gaining this morning after Zuckerberg, the CEO, outlines in a letter the company's AI intentions. In terms of Dow Jones 30s stocks, we're looking at shares of Boeing, flat to lower this morning. Archer plans to acquire 3 Boeing subsidiaries in an aerospace deal. You look at shares of NVIDIA, which are lower this morning. They plan to invest $3 billion in a data center developer, Lyceum. They're backed by Blackstone. And Walmart's looking to get into the memorabilia and trading card business. They're looking to develop a model. They were at a big trade show outside of Chicago this weekend. In terms of guidance news, Monday.com sees Q3 revenue 368 to 370 million, where the street estimate was at 372.85. That's a downtick. Ferguson, ticker FERG, they also released earnings today. Stocks trading lower by about $1.9%. They raised their full year 2026 guidance revenue to mid-single-digit growth. Okay, not great. What else do we have? In buyback news, CXW, that's Core Civics, they announced a $500 million accelerated share repurchase agreement. In terms of catalyst calls, Zymeworks, ZYME, Zebra Yellow, Michael Edwards, Citibank placed it on this 90-day upside catalyst watch ahead of an FDA decision. All right, let's take a look at the news and the stocks that are hitting the tape this morning, see if we see anything hot. BJS appoints Mills as president and CEO. Intel, they're going to be offering $15 billion of common stock. GameStop CEO is considering pulling their eBay bid. Corning on watch as Apple downgrade those all glass phones appear to be canceled. Alibaba Mac users in mainland China can connect to Alibaba's Quinn AI model. Shares of Chevron edging higher, mainly due to Iran's latest announcement, which is pushing oil higher. That's all I'm saying. Let's move on to our pick of the day from Friday. See how we did, even though I kind of gave it away already. But the pick of the day on Friday was Seadrill, SDRL. I mean, the stock opened up at 42.55, which was below my entry point. Then it ran to 43.91. During the day, which, makes it a winner. I mean, this morning it's trading 45.5, which is even more positive, but Seadrill was a winner. Today's pick is Cardinal Health, CAH. Earnings are tomorrow morning. EPS is $2.42. Expected move is 6.85%. Call volume on Friday was 832 calls versus 676 puts, it's a PC ratio of 0.81. Open interest is 21,679 versus 16,899. Major brokers raising price targets, hoping to get in 235 area. Okay, that concludes today's NewsWare's Trade Talk podcast. You guys know what to do. Let's go out there and make some green.